But I tell you what, friendos, 17 games, no wins, minus 29 goal difference. Oh.
I told him I can be a fighter if you want. I'll be there to catch you if you fall. I can make it brighter when it's dark, I told him I would do it all for you, and I know you do it for me too. I can be a fighter if you want.
Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Survival Specialist. We are at the start of Season 4. Kim Min is on the hunt, potentially in a minute, for his fourth job of the save. We've got a 66% record so far in this, and I don't know, I just feel like maybe with more time at Albacete, maybe we could have turned it around, but the other two jobs seem to have gone remarkably well, almost to the point of, like, absurdity, if I'm honest. But if you have enjoyed the series up to this point, of course, drop a like. That would be fantastic. Now, this time around, I am really looking for a deep challenge. I still regret not taking that Belgian club job last year, honestly. I just felt like Den Haag would be a bit of fun, and honestly, it was really, really good fun. The fact that we managed to win a domestic trophy is kind of mad. Also, apologies for some of you if the YouTube auto, you know when you hover over things sometimes, it shows you a little bit of the video. Apparently, it was showing the cup final trophy lift bit there. That unfortunately is completely out of my control, as YouTube chooses those things at random and I can't even see them until the video publishes. But god damn it, YouTube. Really? Now, I'm going to need your help with something as well, friendos, in the comments, because I'm building a best 11, essentially, for FM21. Like, my best 11 out of all the saves. It'll be an 11 and also 12 subs, because you know your boy loves a big sub bench. There's even room for a second goalkeeper on the I know, incredible scenes. So what I want to know from you guys in the comments is either, I mean, you could do a full best 11 if you want out of all the saves, if you really fancy doing that, but just any players to you that have stood out from my saves over the course of this year, both on YouTube and on stream. So I realise that might be a bit more difficult for those of you that only watch the YouTube, or those of you that only watch the streams. I don't know how you'd be seeing this, but hi! But yeah, so that includes Bolton, Tromsø, obviously. Africa, technically, although I do feel like a lot of the players' qualities have just never quite been good enough to actually make maybe a best 11 overall. But there's also OTI, and look at all the squads that we had in that, and Survival Specialists, of course, in this save. Now, again, I think the players from this specific part of the save are unlikely to make it in, but still, I'm very, very interested to hear what you guys think, or who, rather, you think should be in that best 11, because there have been some absolutely banging players. But that's enough about that. Kim is on the job hunt. He's once again spent the summer back in Germany with Mika. Things have progressed very nicely for them now. They've been together a long, long time. I think it's about time, perhaps, that they took things another step further, but it will heavily depend on where Kim finds himself with his next job. Now, I've decided to turn on the option for the Swiss Super League as well. On account of the Swiss Super League, or I can't remember exactly what it's called, the Challenge League, I actually think. It's the 6th highest rated league in Europe now in this save, so the Swiss have clearly been banging stuff. But, and I have seen the jobs that are available, this might be the most challenging one yet in terms of the time frame to actually get a job, and I'll show you for why. This is the job centre. Yeah, and literally, until I turned the Swiss, the Raiffeisen Super League on, we only had 2 jobs available, one of which was very much not a job we could take anyway, which was a Torpedo, who are currently 6th. Also, you might notice that the leading candidate is Nesta El Maestro. Man did not last very long at Tottenham, did he? Straight off the bat here, there's Grasshopper Zurich, who sit 8th in the Super League, but 8th isn't actually even in the relegation places in Switzerland, so definitely one to keep an eye on, but not really a viable job for us right now. The only job currently available, and this is going to get worse in a minute when I show you the job security page, is Reims in the top flight in Ligue 1 over in France. Now, they are bottom, which for our purposes is good, but they are only 6 points from safety and have 24 matches left this season. That's not even the thing. Obviously, we're going to apply for the job, no doubt, but I don't think I'm going to be taking this job this time, on account of the fact that their media prediction is 13th. My concern with that is that it could end up with I mean, what sort of system do they play? Yeah. They've got a guy called Bath, though, so at least they're clean. This is where things take a bit of a turn, though. When you look at the job security page, there's basically no jobs. Literally, there is a very insecure job in Russia with Dynamo Moscow. Very insecure it might be, but they're also outside the relegation places with games in hand. The only other job that's sort of on the cards here, potentially, is a return to Spain with Espanyol, who currently sit, I mean, the thing is, they're only 1 point from safety. Now, Elche, if you'd have said, take the Elche job, now that's intriguing. What's the situation going on at Elche? Jose Andres Jimenez is the manager. They're newly promoted, though, and I think that's going to cause part of the problem, because their manager's job seems to be completely fine as a part of that, and my guess is it's because their expectations are fairly low. Like, in spite of the fact that they seem comfortable about that, you've got 1 point and it's December. Surely at some point the board are kind of like, yeah, I know we said fight bravely against relegation, but there ain't nothing brave about this, lads. This is puny, weak. So, we're going to apply for the Ream job and see what happens, really. But this is, I sense this is about to get kind of interesting. Also, I've just noticed that Frank Lampard is back in charge of Chelsea. Why? I mean, I understand, obviously, the Chelsea connection, of course, but his last job was at Rangers. And as far as I know, he didn't do very well there. Okay, no, to be fair, tell a lie. He's actually done okay in Scotland. He won the Scottish Cup with the Hibbies, and big up them. And actually did win the Scottish Premiership with Rangers, in fairness. In fact, we can see this now, because I just remember we have it to... Okay, fair one. All right, Frank. I take that back, because it does appear that he broke an enormous amount of Celtic hegemony. At the moment, 10th in the Premier League. Wolves are top, by the way. Wolves are top of the Premier League. That I didn't notice. Okay. Things are actually starting to look a little bit more interesting. There's Blackburn as well, chilling in 11th. Lovely. But yeah, Fulham's bottom of the league. I wonder if that job could come up. Maybe I could organically work my way into managing Fulham. Imagine that. Anyway, that's enough beating around the bush. Let's apply for the Ream job and let's get cracking. This is the point where we play the wham, wham, wham. So yes, at midnight, there was someone in the Ream boardroom just being like, I should probably email that idiot back again. He keeps applying for these jobs when we've already filled the role. This feels like one of these years where us coming back early is definitely going to help us. Not because there's jobs available here, but just because when something does come up, we're going to get first dibs on it, hopefully. In case you're wondering, just over in the Netherlands for a second, Den Haag do still be struggling somewhat, but they are at least not doing as bad. How are they able to play this badly? It's nutty. Hey, look at that. So they're still performing in Europe particularly well, have actually qualified as well. Yeah, they've won their Europa League group with Zenit, Apoel, and Astoras Tripolis in their group. That's very impressive from the guys, and I haven't even lost a game yet. One of the things I've noticed in this save is that Premier League clubs in the relegation places never seem to sack their managers in this save, and I don't really know why. I guess it must have something to do with the expectations of the boards, or it might have been that I didn't turn on the Championship and lower until like the start of this save, and that might have something to do with it. I don't know. It's weird though. Okay, so a load more sackings have just happened, some that weren't even like insecure, weirdly. So only two of which are actually viable teams, but those jobs were stable, unless it's that the managers have left. But no, hang on, that said sack, didn't it? Yeah. So there's Mallorca, who are 4 points from safety in La Liga. Come on, I want that Elche job to come up, damn it. They're actually in a better position than Ream. I'll apply for them both just so we've got them knocking about as job option. I'm also going to set like an arbitrary cut-off point, which is like the end of February. If we can't find a job by the end of February, then I feel like at that point, any job we did get, would there be so little time to do anything that it wouldn't be worth it? So I would literally go to December next year if that was to actually happen. That's my contingency. I hope that doesn't happen, and I don't think it will, but I've got that in the back pocket just in case. Okay, so Cardiff offered us a job interview. We're going to do it, no problem. £3.5 million. Not bad. A couple more jobs have just come up as insecure. I say a couple more. It's 2 Belgian sides. Ramadan Sobhi, by the way, of what? We've definitely had him on multiple saves in the past. Interestingly, that's not the one that actually matters here. It's this one, Philip de Poor at Royal Excel Mouscron. 18th place. Oh, now you're talking. Oh, also, oh wait, that's a different Ghent. Or is it? No, it is. For a second, I thought that was Ghent that were down in there, but it is. It's just not the Ghent. It's Ghent 2, Electric Boogaloo. That's some Look at this. There's KRC Genk, KRC Ghent, KAA Ghent. That's like triple Spider-Man.jpg. But I tell you what, friendos, 17 games, no wins, minus 29 goal difference. Oh, that's my kind of team. Given the fact that they've had back-to-back promotions as well. They were a third-tier side 2 years ago. That right there is... I realise it's only a 5-point gap, but there's something about a team that's not won a single game in 17... I say a team. 2 teams that have not won a single game and have a minus 29 goal difference already. They've scored 7 goals this season. They've scored 7 goals this season in 17 games. I don't know what your managerial career's like. He's managed KS Heist, which is kind of what I hope to do to his job. This is the sort of job I crave right now. Although Serge Reguilon has taken over at Torpedo. So Cairn have approached us. We'll delay that, obviously. Mallorca offer a job interview, so we'll do that anyway. So Mallorca got 1.7 million. Fair one. My head has been firmly turned towards the Belgian people. Like, Kim can see the chocolate now. I went to Belgium when I was 18. I had a bloody lovely time in Bruges. That's a complete lie. I didn't even go to Bruges. I went to Antwerp. Antwerp was also nice. Okay, so it's just gone all the way through to Sunday, and I've got 9 inbox items. Oh, please be a sacking in Belgium. Oh, but, okay, lots of sackings. None of which were in Belgium. Nope, they're not. Just middle of the road. Just chilling, cutting about, middle of the road, 13th place. And they thought that was a good enough reason to sack their manager. Also, Fulham have pulled it around as well now, and Wolves have absolutely shat the bed, sadly. But remarkably, no Belgium. How are we looking here? Oh, wow, look at this. Okay, now we're talking. Everybody's insecure now. It's like being in high school. I mean, at some point, surely they're going to have to tip over into sacking him, particularly as Ghent have won a game. What's the betting? That they now start winning matches, and they just keep doing it just enough to not get sacked. So Job Centre remains the same. Although, actually, no, it doesn't, incredibly, because I think said they... Hang on, what? Just to set the scene for you here for a second, friends. Triodense, again, probably ballsing up the name here, in the top flight in Belgium, in the Jupiler Pro League here. 8th in the league. That's fine. They have sacked their manager. Don't and truly know why. Maybe their manager left to go somewhere else. That would be my guess as to what's happened here. Yes, Dan Dierix has gone to FC Köln. Okay, that makes sense. That's a big move up to the Bundesliga. Fine, fair enough. The favourite for the job is your boy Philippe Depoor down here, and Poor very much sums him up, because I'm fairly certain they've just lost another game. Yes, they have. 19 without a win now. This is good in a way, because it means there's a chance that perhaps he could actually incredibly leave of his own accord with his head held high. Or paws held high, I suppose. Palace? Okay. We're a Palace. A Premier League team? No, it could not be. Though they are only 2 points from safety. But, again, a Premier League team have actually sacked their manager. Blackburn have slumped massively off the pace as well, by the way. But it's definitely a job worth applying for. But I think of the two, I'd still rather go for the Belgian one just because of the challenge alone. So they have played another game and lost it. His odds are getting lower and lower, I think, too. It was 4-1, now it's 7-2. Now, what I'd say is that clearly the guy is a decent manager, because it looks to me like he's the guy that has got them back-to-back promotions from the 3rd tier in Belgium to the top flight, and that is a hell of an achievement. So I guess that is something just worth taking into account. But no win in 20, it's still not looking good. Annoyingly, Elche have gone and won a couple of games. Useless. Oh, damn it. They've appointed Xander van der Vaart instead of the man that I needed to leave. I mean, to be fair, I think you've made the right choice, if I'm honest. God damn it. I think one of the problems with looking for slightly more of a challenge is that, unfortunately, there's certain things that don't meet that requirement. I'm still hoping that they're going to sack the guy, because he is still very insecure, but which is why I have applied for the Palace job, but nothing's actually come back yet about that. It'd be nice to have that in the back pocket, should we decide that. Derby have also sacked their manager, although they're further along than Palace are now. Fulham have really pulled it around. I'll apply for the Derby job too, just because. Okay, Palace have offered us a job interview, so we'll do the interview. Okay. What? Okay. I know it's the Premier League. I know that more money exists. But that is the most ridiculous transfer budget I've ever seen for a January transfer. 48 million quid in January. I mean, maybe that just, that's the transfer budget. But still. There is also the Passos job. But unfortunately, they're only in the relegation zone on goal difference currently. Or, I don't know if it's head-to-head or goal. They have the same amount of points as the team directly above them. I'd kind of need Palace to keep losing and getting that gap be bigger and bigger and bigger in order for me to actually sort of consider that a viable option. But the gap is still just 2 points at the moment. Royal XL play Beerschot in their next game on the 6th, and I have a horrible feeling they might win that. Now, there is a job in Portugal, actually, that kind of interests me. Fiorenza are bottom of the league and actually are a decent points deficit away from other teams, but their job seems to be totally fine at the moment. So Palace have actually approached us. I was kind of hoping they'd drag their heels a bit over that, to be honest. I'm going to delay, obviously. I was hoping they would take as much time as possible to give us an idea of what's happening in Belgium. Obviously, now Palace have annoyed me by winning a match. Now they've moved up to there. So Derby only have a budget of £8 million compared to Palace's every £1 million. Okay, so Derby County have now approached us. So Palace are going to come back on the 17th, which is the day after what might happen in Belgium. Whereas Derby, we would have until the 29th to potentially sort some stuff out. The problem is they're not in the relegation zone at the moment, but I have a feeling they might slip back in. So we'll delay, obviously, but it might give us a bit more of a chance to see how things play out. Is there any more options here going? No. Oh, Elche! Right then. Finally, hilariously, they started winning games. I am confused about why that's happened. Can we just talk about how Lionel Messi is the caretaker manager at Elche? He was the assistant manager there. The Elche manager, who couldn't win a game to save his life, left to join Huesca. Because I did highlight, admittedly, they've got really good since then, but they're still massively in the mud. There is still a part of me that would perhaps prefer either going to Belgium or the Premier League, just because we haven't managed in those leagues in this save. But the problem is the Premier League ones are just making it very awkward for me. Palace have gone and won again. You useless bastards. Couldn't you just be rubbish for a little bit longer? Now, there is another potential interesting one here with Perugia coming up in Italy. Oh, they're mega mudded as well. Okay, things are starting to get a bit more fancy now. Also, Sassuolo have got the League of the League back again, with Jarnason now smashing them in again. Also, I know Montpellier now have set their manager, and they are 20th in the league, but they're literally only there on goal difference. You useless people. Oh, you had one job, and it was to lose that game, and now they've got a win, which is surely going to keep that guy in a job a little bit longer. All I wanted to do was go to Belgium, have some lovely chocolate, and get a team their first win of the season. But no! Don't they know I'm making a YouTube series here? Okay, so Elche actually have offered a job interviews. For me, now it's starting to lean towards Elche. However, that Perugia one, that's the one that I'm very curious about now. They actually, incredibly, Elche have £4.5 million of transfer budget, which is surprising, actually. The mud has yet to deepen for them either, although they may not have played any more games yet. In fact, Derby one as well. Premier League teams are not making this easy for me, are they? Palace, yeah, now looking pretty good, unfortunately, so that's just not a viable option for us anymore. This is a big weekend of fixtures coming up. Could make a huge difference to this save. Derby, again, Derby, they may be in the relegation zone, but they're also, I think, much closer to safety now. Yeah, they're 1 point from the relegation places now, annoyingly. And also, they only let us have a week, I think, instead of 2. And despite them losing it, also notice that bloody Perugia have disappeared again. Perugia got a point. And that seems to have somehow assuaged their manager's sacking, potentially. Blackburn! Yes. Apologies, Blackburn. What a start to the season it was from the Blackburn boys. But now, they're in the relegation places by 4 points and have sacked their manager and have the worst goal difference in the Premier League. I just hope they don't start winning. Not entirely sure how well the Blackburn fans would react to Bolton legend Kim Min taking over at them, but I mean, hey, if he kept them up, then wouldn't that be something? Okay, Blackburn. Right, this is interesting. So, at the moment, Blackburn and Elche are the two viable ones. Now, I know Elche are further into the mud, as we know. The only reason of the two that I would be tempted to go out of these two, if that was the two options, I would be tempted to do Blackburn, is simply because it would be a different league that we haven't yet tried to manage in this save, and also the controversy of Kim taking over. Like, when you look at how much Derby was spending and how much Palace was spending, Blackburn are very much underpowered. Elche have actually gone and won again. I mean, the gap has actually still remained the same, but they have won again. And Blackburn have actually approached us now. I will delay a week. They went and won again. I don't think Belgium's happening. I really should have checked that before I delayed. Can you ask for confirmation sooner? Elche would have been my jam were they not to have pulled themselves out of the mud. I mean, they're still firmly in the mud at the moment. But something about the Blackburn thing kind of intrigues me. Since the Belgium one clearly is not happening now. There was a moment where that could have happened, and that moment has passed. I think in order for us to have got that job and actually made that fun, it would have had to have happened during that brief spell where they could have lost their manager to another side. But now that they've won 2 games as well and are only a point from safety, that one seems to have lost its charm a little bit. And Elche, having won a load of games, they're still up. They're still in the mud, for sure. But I just feel like maybe Blackburn is the one. It's annoying that we're not going to be able to take over now. Can I ask for confirmation? I don't think I can I? Not on this. That would be a nice feature for F1 22. Like how you can ask for a confirmation on a transfer that you've delayed. It'd be cool if you could do that for job interviews. I don't think you can, though. So, as things stand, I think there's a very strong chance that we're taking over at Blackburn next week. Annoyingly out of a transfer. I mean, not that we'd have had much time to do anything, but I could have at least brought a loan in. I'm annoyed more at Perugia, honestly. That was the one that I was really excited about. Really mudded. Managing in Italy, getting a chance to play against my former side as well. That would have been Pog. I'm just really hoping Blackburn don't win a game in the interim. Well, we have a decision to make, essentially. Both of them. I swear this is earlier than I was expecting, because I don't think we have got those jobs on the same day, but I guess they both got impatient with us. We've got Blackburn and Elche have both come in within 4 minutes of each other. Okay, so the last time we checked, Elche were 6 points from safety, Blackburn were 4, I think. So I'd still be leaning towards Blackburn just because it's a league we haven't managed in. But I assume games have happened in the meantime. Elche, oh, that's the wrong one, are still 6 points from safety. But they are in better form than they were before, whereas Blackburn seem to have been in free fall. What's their situation looking like now? 20th place, we knew that anyway, I think. Oh, okay. It's 6 points. All right, they're literally level on points now. Well, I say level on points. You know what I mean? Okay, so Blackburn now find themselves 6 points from safety. West Brom seem to have pulled themselves out of the mud a little bit now. Derby, who looked like they were going to, have really ballsed it up as well. And Palace seem to continue their route. And actually, Palace have a game in hand as well. Blackburn now, minus 26 goal difference, 6 points from safety with 12 games to spare. It's later than I would have liked to have taken over, if I'm honest, particularly as we aren't going to get any chance to do any transfers, which is a shame. But it definitely means we'll be getting in another season, that's for sure. Out of the two now that they're paritied, I think it's sort of made my decision for me almost on that one. But now that it's dead heat between the two, I feel like Blackburn might be the bigger of the two challenges, and I think there's less games to go for Blackburn too. So I think that kind of leans towards. I was kind of really just. I don't know. I want to manage Blackburn now. That's just the thing I want to do, apparently. So I think that is the one that we're going to take out of the two. Kim is going to be... Oh, they got a bigger transfer. I mean, the wage... But yeah, I mean, it's definitely different. Ironically, both offering us the exact same wage as well. So, yeah, that is not going to be easy. 6 points gap with 12 games left for a team that were expected to come bottom as a newly promoted side. Can Kim... Maybe they'll think of him as a saboteur. Maybe that's something that's going to happen. So, I'm going to... I can't delay that, can I? I'll just walk away from Elche. And then we will approach Blackburn. Well, they'll approach us, technically. And we'll start the negotiations. Oh, I just never thought... I honestly, at the start of this episode today, which I'll be honest with you, was an hour and a half ago, I did not expect we'd find ourselves managing Blackburn Rovers, to be honest, but hey, the world throws weird things up at you, so we're going to do a little ditty, a little few months in England with Blackburn. Kim's going to return to the northwest and have himself, hopefully, a bloody lovely time there. There we go, shirts on the wall, Blackburn Rovers hire Kim Min. You love to see it. Right then. This is going to be fascinating. Now, what I'd normally do in these situations, because it doesn't normally take us this long to find a job, is we do like a full run through the team. We're going to do like a mini version of that today, and then do a bigger version of that in tomorrow's episode as well as, you know, the first couple of games too. So they could be both a bit bumpery as well, particularly as I don't think we're going to be here very long, sadly. Hopefully, though, we can still do some magic for the guys. So, they do play. I mean, they've all kind of said that as well, so that's, you can make of that what you will. Use and take preview? Don't expect much. Well, that's a shame. I thought Blackburn had a solid youth academy. What we doing expectations-wise? I think this will only adjust the budgets, and the budgets we can't use at the moment, so attempt to avoid relegation it is. So the situation is clear. 6 points from safety. It's not looking good for us, but there's always hope, isn't there? That's all we can do is hope. Interesting that Norwich are in the relegation zone, and yet they have the top scorer in the Premier League. Also, Fulham have really turned things around. They started off so well. They only lost one of their first 5 Premier League games. Couple of good wins in November as well against Leicester and Newcastle, which is kind of why they were where they were when we saw them originally, but they've actually not managed to win a game since. Ooh, that's poor. A few draws in there, beat Brentford in the Cup, and then were knocked out, I think. No, it's a replay. Of course it's a replay. And that's actually the first game in charge. Okay. And then West Brom. That's massive. So our run-in, I mean, how's it looking? Liverpool away, top of the league. Palace at home, though. Brighton away, Leicester away. These are, okay games. Arsenal away isn't going to be easy. But then Newcastle and Fulham at home. Man City away again. Finishing off, though, this is where it gets tougher. Everton away, Wolves at home, West Ham at home. But they're at least at home. It looks somewhat favourable for us. Sort of. But it seems like Chetin Kaya has been banging in some goals for them. Norberg as well. And look at these guys. Again, it does make you wonder if maybe they have just underperformed a little bit lately. I mean, they have to have done in order to be in that position. I'll show you the 3 best players now, according to the game. Those 3 4-star lads here. Incredibly, their best player, alleged, now maybe he's had an injury, is Mohamed Clement, who's had 4 appearances. 4. Hang on, he played for Camper last season. I swear he played in the cup final against us when we were Den Haag manager. He's very tasty as an attacking midfielder. Very, very tasty indeed. Has he been injured? He was a January signing. They spent 6 million. Oh, wow. Okay, so their January transfers might be what could save us here. This guy I thought he was very good for Cambo last season, if I recall. Then we've also got Shefik Çetinkaya, a Turkish, not international, incredibly, striker/right-sided player, though he is left-footed. Reminds me a lot of Vidmar, actually, from last season. And last but not least, out of these guys anyway, Paulo Fabro, Italian centre-back, great tackling, heading's a little low, great jumping reach. He's actually a decent centre-back. Injury-prone, though, could be a concern. But he's been with them since the championship days. Got him on a free transfer from Inter Milan. Imagine that. Imagine Inter letting a good player go for free. It just would not happen. So there's definitely some talent in this team and some youngsters as well that look like they've got some solid potential along with that. O'Keefe Clark and obviously this guy, Armando Codrington, who's on loan. He's on loan. Hang on, he's not even. Oh my lord. He's on loan at Tranmere. Join me tomorrow as we embark on our career, well, mini-career, at Blackburn Rovers. This is going to be different. I'm really quite excited about this. I'm always excited about these things. I realise I'm easily excitable. But we're going to be starting off with... Oh, actually, there's a little bit of a gap there too. So we're going to be starting off at home against Manchester City in the FA Cup. Because, of course. Nice and easy, eh? And then we go away... No, we host West Brom at Ewood Park towards the end of the month. I guess we got our own little winter break there. So, or it might be international break as well. Something like that. Regardless, that's what's coming up in the next episode. And obviously a proper look around the rest of the squad and see who's actually going to be decent for this team. But I don't know. I still think there's a chance for us. Potentially. We will have to see, though. But they've made some good signings. Let me just see if they signed anybody else in January. Ooh, okay, not that that makes any difference now. Have they signed anyone else in January? Yes. They also signed Blair Henderson off of Liverpool. I'll quickly show you him now as well. He's a goalkeeper. Oh, he's really good. He's really good. Although he's a leading championship. But that shows you the depth of our squad, doesn't it? If this guy is considered a leading championship player. He's decent, though. That's a good signing. Very good signing, actually, for 350k. Okay, so this feels like it's been quite a long episode. I do apologise for that, but this has been the biggest saga of actually finding a job imaginable. That Belgium thing really hung us up for a little bit too long. Hopefully we'll be able to find ourselves a real deep mudded challenge for next season. But I don't know, 6 points from safety with 12 games to go in the Premier League with a team that are expected to come bottom. That's still quite a challenge in my book. I don't think it's going to be a case of we plug things in and things just start to work for us somehow. But we will see about that. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this, and I hope you have, drop a like on the video. That would be lovely. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. That'd be gorgeous too. I'll stream on Twitch Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturday, twice this Saturday because we've got the FM playoffs. It's going to be Pog. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for a proper look around and our first proper games in charge. I'll see you soon. Thank you so much for watching. Hold your gun. Capybara. Bye-bye.
I can be a fire.